On second thought, I'm William Wagner, your host. We got a great show for you tonight. With me today, here in the studio, is Charlie Sprinkle. Charlie, welcome to the show.
Glad to be here.
Charlie, do you have a driver's license?
No, sir, I haven't. I don't drive commercially.
Don't drive commercially, I see. So you don't need a driver's license?
If you're not being paid, there's no need for a driver's license.
So if I was getting paid to haul goods and services, or I was a taxi driver...
You would have to have a driver's license. That's commerce.
That's commerce. But you don't drive in commerce, so you haven't had a driver's license for how many years, Charlie?
37 years.
What happens, Charlie, when the police pull you over and they think you're speeding or you didn't signal?
Well, now they just shake their finger at me or tell me to have a nice day.
Oh, really?
Yes, sir.
Well, let's see. If I was a cop, I pull up, I say, "May I see your driver's license, please?"
I don't have one.
Why don't you have one? You're driving a car.
I don't want one, and I'm not driving. I'm traveling.
I see. Well, what if I just take you to jail?
Fine with me, but we'll be hooked to hip. We'll be hooked at the hip for the next 5 years in federal court.
In federal court. So you're going to sue me, the police officer, if I take you to jail because you don't have a driver's license?
Yes, sir.
I think the judge will rule in my favor.
I don't think so.
Oh, so that's how it goes.
That's how it goes.
And you had one of those cases, Charlie, didn't you?
I filed suit in 1975 against 16 state officials, including Governor Reagan and all of their wives.
And all of their wives?
Yes, sir. When the officer pulls his red lights on you, he's declaring an emergency. That's a felony when there is no emergency. So he's already violated his job oath of office when he turns his red lights on to stop you. And then in my case, if he interferes with my right to travel, he's violating the Constitution of the United States.
Wow.
He becomes an imposter in the office of, he becomes a imposter in his office. And therefore he's taking his wages under false pretenses, and that's fraud.
And you've taken people to court?
Yes, sir.
Did Mrs. Reagan like being served?
Yes, sir. We served her as she was backing out of her driveway in the limousine.
Did she like it when they served her?
She was having a hissy fit. As a matter of fact, the wives didn't like being charged with fraud for something their husbands had done.
So why did you name Mrs. Reagan? I mean, even Reagan didn't pull you over, and he didn't hire the CHP officer.
I wrote Mr. Reagan a letter and requesting him to protect me from the conspiracy to violate my rights.
And did he protect you?
No, he refused in writing.
Oh.
So he violated his oath of office. He became an imposter in the governor's office, and his wife was same as driving a getaway car for a bank robber. She's accessory after the fact.
Wow.
And they tried to get that dismissed in federal court 3 different times, and they failed all 3 times. And then all they could do then was make a deal.
Wow, I got to take my hat off to you, Charlie, because I don't think I've talked to anybody that's ever sued a governor and his wife and won. And did they pay you money, or what? How did that resolve?
But they couldn't get the case dismissed out of the federal court, so they sent a black limousine down to my house. 2 guys got out of the back doors of the car, dressed in very dark suits and sunglasses, and came to my door. Of course, I had a rifle set over the door because I was expecting to be assassinated over this deal.
Yeah.
I was only 35 years old, and I was the only one in California at the time fighting a driver's license. So I expected to be found face down in a ditch someplace, and so I was well armed. Anyway, they came to the door, and they said, "Mr. Sprinkle, we can assure you that you will have full run of the road if you do not pursue the lawsuit any further." I said, "Fine, I'll take that under advisement, and we'll see what happens." And after another few words, they decided to get in their car and go home, or wherever they came from. So I immediately went out and got into my yellow sports car and went out onto the highway and found me a highway patrolman, and they was doing 65 at the time. It was the speed limit. And I cranked my little yellow car up to about 90 mile an hour and went by them blowing my air horns. And of course, they pursued me immediately.
Yeah, I would expect that, Charlie, yeah.
And I pulled off the side of the road, and I said, well, what can I do for you? And he says, what are you doing? I said, I was doing about 90. And he said, what's your name? You got a driver's license? No. Oh. What's your name? My name's Charlie Sprinkle. Well, Mr. Sprinkle, we just stopped to see if we could be of any assistance to you. I said, well, no, I think I can get along all right by myself. And he said, well, have a nice day. So I left him in a cloud of dust.
Oh, boy. They didn't say anything about the fact you admitted you were doing 90 in a 65 zone?
No.
They didn't say a word about it?
Yeah, I've been told I'd be left alone if I didn't pursue the suit.
So someone put the word out, and you let the Reagans off the suit, and you're free to go.
Government did not. Yes, sir.
What is on your license?
I have the Gladstone flag, don't tread on me. The rattlesnake says, don't tread on me. I have that on all my automobiles. As a matter of fact, you can go out there and look at the black Lexus, and you'll see what I have. I never, it's been since 2001. I haven't had a driver's license since 2001. I've only been pulled over one time, traveling all the way from Texas to Washington. I was followed by state troopers in almost every state. They didn't have the guts to pull me over. I got pulled over, and I have done it as a witness here, and it was coming to one of these meetings. I was going to Doug's, I believe. Am I correct on that? I got pulled over going 67 in a 50. Did I get a ticket? Nope. Did they thank me and shake my hand? I taught them the law. It's not my job. I knew I had to get to Doug's and do what he did. But no license plate, no driver's license, no registration on my automobile, because once you register something, you give it up to the government. Most people are unaware of that.
My brother right now, never finished the story, the one that said he was going to arrest me at Christmas, well, he became a Texas Ranger. Now, he left because he couldn't. He said, I'm not pulling people over. Because I explained to him it was road piracy. And he's like, it is. It absolutely is. He used to brag about being able to, he called it his honeycomb, where it went from 55 down to 35 in a turn. And he would sit there and wait for people to go by. And he bragged about writing 72 tickets in one day. His quota was 90 tickets a month. So it's like, I just got 72 in one day. Just sitting in what he called his honeycomb. He said, I can't do this anymore. So he started doing accident investigation for DPS, which is Texas State Troopers. And he left that, became a Texas Ranger. Now my younger brother, who's a mountain of a guy, he's a U.S. Marshal that goes after the top 10 most wanted. So that Christmas, I brought him from the state trooper to being a U.S. Marshal. Wow. So he can thank me for that.